So I grew up in Virginia, in Mechanicsville. And just a fair warning to anybody that might be watching, it's a little heavy. So there's a content warning. There's going to be drug use, mental illness, things like that. You're going to be mentioned. So, if you don't want to hear that, maybe skip to the next question. I grew up in a household with an alcoholic, opioid addicted mom who also had a gambling problem. She was raised up in Kentucky to a schizophrenic mother and a brother who couldn't keep his hands to himself. My father suffers from severe depression, and he grew up in Virginia to a father who beat him every day and told him that he was stupid and worthless. Growing up for me wasn't great, but I know that every parent's goal is to have their child have a better life than they did. So technically, my parents accomplished that. I felt like giving a little bit of a background about my parents just because, they weren't saints, but, they're not monsters either. So also, I feel like I should mention that my mother has been sober and clean for the last, 9 years. But they definitely raised me to have an extremely strong work ethic. I have been on my grind since I was 13 years old. On my 15th birthday, my dad took me around to all the businesses in Mechanicsville to fill out applications. I was told if I wanted anything, I'd have to work for it. If I wanted a different shampoo than the dollar store V5 shampoo, I'd have to work and pay for it. And so I've never not had a job, in the last 10 years. So that's one thing that I definitely think is a positive that came out of that environment. As a student, I came to Reynolds because I've been working my whole life in jobs that I did not enjoy. I literally one day I was just like, there has to be more to life than just working jobs that barely give me enough money to survive, to pay for a home that I'm barely in because I'm working constantly, and then I die. Like, there has to be more than just working these jobs that give me nothing more than a paycheck. And I didn't have any fulfillment or feel like I had any purpose in any of the jobs that I'd worked. I was just working to survive. And I also knew from a young age that higher education was a luxury that I wasn't going to be able to have, like, straight out of high school. So it took me quite a long time before I was able to actually pursue higher education. I was like, if I've got to work till I'm dead, I might as well find something that's going to pay me more, that at least offers a career advancement that I find, fulfilling. And so I went with, an associate's of science to be able to transfer to a 4-year degree to get a bachelor's in social work, and then my master's to work in therapy. So yeah. I actually heard about the REV program from the Virginia Unemployment Commission. I'd found myself, for the first time in 10 years, not having a job. And on top of that, also literally just being in the middle of maternity leave. I just had a baby, still on maternity leave, then COVID happens, and I lost my job with Henrico County government. And I was fortunate enough to have enough money saved up in my retirement to be able to cover, my bills and my mortgage for the year. But for the first time ever since, being a child, I was like, wow, I don't have a job. And I kind of have an excuse for not having a job. So the Virginia Unemployment Commission sent me an email that was like, hey, potential free tuition. And my father always told me, that if something is free, it's better than gold. So, I just saw free money for school and I was like, yes, free. Yes, please. I'll take it. Went with phlebotomy. I'm not afraid of needles. I'm covered in tattoos. I'm not afraid of needles, and I'm not afraid of seeing blood or anything like that. And I figured, let's see if I'm good at this, if this is something I can do. And so I used the REV funds to go towards the certification in phlebotomy. I had a woman who was in the process of doing the SAP appeal. And she had told me that she didn't feel that, it was financial aid's business to know her personal life and things that were going on. She didn't want to go through the process and the work of digging up, evidence of her claim. She didn't want to go through the process and the work emotionally of the things that might be brought up while going through the SAP process. And I told her, I understood, but, at the end of the day, there are two options here. You have a road where you have a degree or a certification in something that, is an in-demand job that you will have employment in, or you don't. And I can guarantee you that if you go through the work and get approved, the money that you are saving with, G3 and with REV, it's free tuition. You're getting this degree or certification that is going to guarantee you better employment and better, just better individual, advancement. Whereas if you don't, then you're looking at potentially any degree or certification you're going to have to pay out of pocket. And that's going to be a lot more work on your end than going through this little bit with the SAP process. And I told her, life isn't a competition. We're not competing with each other. We're all just running our own race. And there's no age limit in which you have to figure out your purpose or what fulfills you. There's no expiration date on your potential success. You only get as far as you want to get, and there's nobody else in your way other than you. So my first goal, first and foremost, I want to raise a strong, independent human being who has critical thinking and is confident and expressive. And I want to be able to afford my child to be able to follow whatever dreams she has. I didn't have that as a kid. I didn't really allow myself to potentially think about the dreams or the things I wanted to be, because I knew that just wasn't gonna be in the cards for me. I knew that I needed to survive and that I needed to work, and that I'm not gonna have time to follow any lofty dreams that I may have. And I know that a lot of my goals or dreams that I have, like if money isn't an object, are, like artistic things, filmmaking, photography, things of that nature that, a degree isn't going to guarantee me a job in. My goals are to go to Mary Baldwin for a social work bachelor's degree. It'll take me roughly about a year to get that with all the credits that I currently have. And then I plan on going to get my master's. I was originally thinking of doing psychology because the ultimate goal for me, realistically, is to be a therapist and to have my own practice and help other people figure out who they are, what they want to do, help other people be happy, be present, live in the moment, and, shine their light and make the world a better place. Sounds like a Miss America answer, but I mean, it's true. So.